Dim the lights. Settle in. The adventure continues now.
Back to the academy and meet in Professor Moretti's classroom once everybody is seated. He says, the mission to Mordenshire is back on. For some of you, this will be a return there, as I understand it. He looks at Ben and around the room. We will be taking the caravel Somerset, piloted by the trusty and swift Captain Stewart. Here is a receipt for the purchase of passage for 7 persons and 1 large hound. I am told he's a strict but fair man, dear Captain. The voyage should be quick. You'll leave it today at noon. You should arrive in Arden Bay a day from morning at the latest. You will stay in the Mordenshire for as long as it takes to complete the 3 missions for the Academy there. One is something about the thawing mudhounds, they said. Don't know what that is. And the others you'll receive from the Mordenshire Academy staff when you get there. Any questions?
So we get on the boat and travel to Mordenshire, you say?
Yes.
Oh,
This
is just perfect. Thank you.
And to return, I recommend you keep an eye towards the news and see what's happening from the Fokovnians. I want you to be very careful coming back. You might have to take the ship on the return trip as well to avoid the Fokovnian forces. But if there are no more questions, you can continue with your day. Just make sure to be at the docks by noon. You guys got your spells settled, your shopping done. If there's nothing else, to the ship. Make your way down to the docks, ask around for the Somerset. You find it, the captain is waiting on the dock. He is a gray-haired, slightly stooped, older man. He's got red cheeks and a red nose, but he smiles politely as you approach. He bids you welcome. He introduces you to the first mate, a one-eyed, slender, taller man. Ears have a little bit of a point to him, suggesting some elven heritage. This is Mr. Monterey, the captain says, and Mr. Monterey will show you around the ship. It's a double-masted ship. There's a rowboat on the port side near the bow. There's a cage with a black leopard on the starboard side near the bow. Second mast is about midship. There's pumps and a firebox for cooking and a water cask a little bit towards the back. Towards the back of the ship, the quarterdeck has binnacle, captain's quarters, the mate's quarters. And along the deck, there's a couple of hatches to get down into the hold beneath. Captain instructs you to hang out down in the hold if you don't have your sea legs, but otherwise somewhere out of the way. But we'll be departing in just a little bit.
I guess I immediately start questioning about the big cat in the box. Why is there a cat in the box?
Oh, yes. I am paid to bring her down to Mordenshire. Same as you all. But don't worry about that beast. It won't be causing you no harm in there. Just keep your fingers out of the slats and they'll be fine.
I go over to the cat and I ask what happened to it.
The cat lets out a yowl, bares its teeth at you as you approach.
I look at the cat, a little bit sad because it's in a cage.
It's going to be tonight and tomorrow on the ship where you're going to have to just camp out.
I guess we stay top deck, keep some fresh air.
Yes, I think sleep under the stars, no?
Yeah. Sounds nice.
You meet the cook, Old Singe. He's a shorter, bald man. He's got a He's got a big smile on his face and he's quite friendly. He starts up a tale about previous adventures that the ship had come across. You meet some of the other crew. There's a whole host of motley individuals, about 20 crew members in all on the ship, in addition to the party. They all seem pleasant enough, although a bit rough around the edges. They don't bother you much. They don't seem too curious in the party at all. They just go about their business, nod to you, carry on. But once they get to their places and you guys get to yours, the ship is ready to go. Wind catches the Somerset sails. The ship makes for the open sea. The sky is a crystal blue. The ocean is a swirling mass of dark green topped by white foam, as dark as the starry evening and just as deep. Captain Stewart hoists a silver flask to the sky and bellows, "Here's to good wind and a strong current." You can see that so far spirits are high and the crew heading for their work and get busy.
I would very much like to learn how these machines and the ship work. Sails, sheets. The halyard is of particular interest. Steering. I will try to make friends with the crew.
They do acknowledge you, but don't stop to talk. There's a lot to learn with just the sails and all the rigging. What's the survival check one?
Oh, okay.
Skies are blue right now. The waters are calm. Looks like a pleasant afternoon.
I'm gonna try telling some jokes. Just whatever I can to make these guys laugh a little bit.
The crew seems to like you well enough. The captain doesn't seem pleased that you're distracting his workers.
Oh, but I am not
in fact-
distracting. I am trying to help them with the work.
Ever since leaving the harbor of Port Lucine, the captain's temper seems to have gotten worse. You notice that for the first half hour or so of sailing, he's drinking from his flask. He turns pretty red, and his words are a lot less kind as the afternoon wears on.
Sir, are you okay? Do you need any help or advice? There's nobody out here to hear you but me and the sea.
What I need is for you all to stay out of the way. Stay put in your places where you belong. Don't much like having all you landlubbers on board. Your bad luck. Now back out of my sight before I cast you overboard.
Fair enough, sir. And I wander away.
I will give him a respectful nod and bow, and then stay out of the way of the crew.
I observe the whole situation and just make a whispered comment that the captain's mood changed awfully fast from me asking about the little kitten to us sailing away.
It was like night and day. He went from overtly pleasant, trying to put on a smile on shore, to once we're offshore, he seemed to drop that very fast.
I keep my wolf Freya close.
The sun starts to wester. One of the crewmen, Old Singe, starts getting the fire going, building up a low fire. Grabs some vegetables and a bit of jerky. Begins to cook it up. Half an hour later, he bellows, "Supper!" Crew start lining at his firebox to get spoonfuls of gruel he made.
Let the crew get it first.
Yeah, politely take my place at the back of the line after all the crew have taken their share.
There is enough for everybody, although you don't get a lot. You get a single ladle of mostly gravy and about a half a biscuit worth of hardtack. Not the best meal you've had, but it'll serve its purpose.
I think this will suffice for me. I am not very hungry.
Question it is for me then. Well, now that the entire party is gathered around for dinner, I go lean over to the rest of them and I'm like, so, about that last mission that was obviously a trap. I'm not feeling all this trustworthy about the academy all of a sudden. Am I the only one?
Are you kidding? We escaped Demantlu. We are free. We are going to Mordenshire.
Are you saying escaping from a port?
The war.
What?
Falkovnia has the whole country surrounded. As I thought we would take an airship out, but a water ship, whatever.
All I'll say is that this place seems to be very corrupting. And who's to say that the academy is not corrupt?
We are currently not at the academy, so if we have to go back there, we can revisit this important issue. Now, we have gotten away, as you said.
Think you can quit anytime you want.
As far as I understand, the rest of you are as trapped here as I
I
am.
was born here. I do
Yeah, I
not
was
know
gonna
what
say-
you mean. I have made my escape just today. Where does the magic you cast come from?
Comes from God,
God.
from Mother Nature. It flows
Yes,
through
it-
us like the water
You
through
see.
the river. But we merely guide it. We do not force it to go anywhere. It's pure.
I kind of get that. Like when I sing, it just it's a natural effect that comes out of me. When I play my music, like it's
No, it's different, you filthy Magyar bastard.
Wow, wow, talk about attitude changes.
Yes,
Nice.
should everyone
Calling
use this one?
names?
It's just very
bit feisty.
unnatural and offensive.
Just
This is
guided.
a natural magic, for like what
Yeah,
you say. It comes
there.
from the nature of our existence.
Yeah, it's like it's this beautiful natural spring and you're pissing in it.
I guess
He sees the world as divine, which is purely from God and nature, and arcane, which he sees as a defilement. From what I've gathered of his druidic teachings in his school, those gods are defilers and need to be destroyed if possible.
Oh, well, good luck with this mission.
It's stick by stick that the beaver builds its dam.
All the same, I wish you well in your goal.
you guys all finish up your supper. A little later, near the bow with the cages, one of the crewmen, a man in a striped knit cap, is poking at the cat, the black leopard, with a bit of
I think
grip.
this will end poorly.
Cat, for its part, snarls and bites at the wood. The cat tries to force his paws through the cage, but the bars are too close together. There's a few other crewmen around that are pointing and laughing.
I start to poke them.
Hey, I think we can resolve this very easily.
Oh yes, I can resolve this very easily.
No, allow me, please. Allow me. I speak the language. I will pull out a coin. Gentlemen, messieurs and mesdames. And I start flipping the coin around in my fingers. I think it would be most gentlemanly of you if you look after the well-being of this animal for the duration of this journey. And I thank you very much for your assistance in this matter.
He nods slightly as he continues to stare at the coin. The other crew members are also staring at the coin. Four of them there. The man slowly reaches towards the cage and the cat lunges towards the man's hand. He pulls it back somewhat absent-mindedly. The captain slowly comes over behind you, looks very curious about what's going on, and not very pleased.
Not very pleased with what?
You're not really sure. He just hasn't looked pleased in general.
I'll just nod politely to the captain and go back to where we've been bedded down.
He glowers as you pass. He watches suspiciously.
I keep my wolf close to me, crew and the captain. Very suspicious. Yeah, I follow Emmanuel. I'm out of your range. I whisper.
It is a simple
Well, let him
trick.
have it.
You simply make them think that your best interests are theirs. Of course, something that's immediately dangerous may not work. But seeing as my request had no danger at all to them, it clearly works just fine.
I was merely going to find out whether they liked poking at a uncaged animal as much as a caged one.
I think that avoiding conflict on this journey is to our advantage.
I have the teachings of my god I need to follow. I am nature's revenger.
Anissa, what are you doing during this?
Just watching Aster, agreeing. Being poked isn't fun. Paying attention to what Manu is doing. Pull out a copper and see if I can do the same, because it seems like a neat trick.
Maybe I can teach you.
Seems like it'd be fun at parties.
Is the crew singing any sea shanties or anything?
The guy with a small accordion is getting ready to play.
I'll join him with my mandolin.
You're following along. The accordion sounds like a asthmatic dragon, and your instrument sounds much better. But the shanty starts in with the lyrics. He says, "There once was a maiden who loved a young sailor. She loved him and hugged him and promised to wed. They vowed they would marry when next he would tarry. They vowed they would marry, at least that's what she said. But the lad was a sailor and left his young maiden. He loved her and hugged her, but left her behind. Down in this ocean on shoals they did found her. He fell from the rigging, and that's where he died. And so the young maiden, she watched for her sailor. The years passed by her, and she forgot her vow. She met another and promised she'd marry. She forgot her sailor who died long ago. The eve of the wedding had a strange visitor. He smelt of the sea and was draped with the weeds. His flesh was all rotted, for it was her sailor, come back for his maiden in word and in deed. The maiden was frightened, but he did console her. He hugged her and loved her and dragged her below. The sea is their home now, they both are together, the sailor and maiden who made that great vow. Ben does his best to make it enjoyable. The crew is wrapped in attention to the song. Once it ends, they do get back to work, but they did pause for a moment to listen.
Yeah, what a great song. It was so depressing.
Show me the way to go home, dum dum. I'm tired, I wanna go to bed. Yes, I had a little drink about an hour ago, and it went straight to my head. Everybody, wherever I may roam, on land or seas of foam, I'll find a pub, sit down and sing me this song. Show me the way to go home, dum dum dum. Show me.
They pick up the tune, do a few rounds.
Ben will definitely try to get in on this. Let's see how well he plays along with it. Really well. He's like, oh, I know this song.
Like,
Oh my god, this is my time to shine! Backup musics!
He then puts in some intricate string work.
Like an epic guitar solo.
Yep. All right, so setting watch for the night. 2 people are staying up.
I think we stagger our sleep.
Fen and Aniso, you guys are up. They're getting your rest in the chilly pre-dawn morning. The sky is beginning to lighten. Quite a bit of activity still on the deck. The crew hard at work. Mr. Monterey, the first mate, didn't seem to sleep at all, at least that you noticed. Quite active. In fact, he runs back to the quarterdeck and starts shouting because he saw some dolphins off the starboard side. He unlimbers a ballista and he gets it ready to fire. He fires a bolt into the water and misses. He starts winding up, cranking the ballista to get ready to fire another shot.
Dolphins.
Yep.
Sea puppies.
Niso will stand at the rail because he probably hasn't seen a dolphin.
No, 3 or 4 of them. That second shot splashes into the water and misses.
Ask, what are they doing that for?
Old Singe licking his lip. Oh, that would be some fresh meat. for the pot tonight. Mm-mm.
That was what Fen stopped him, so he's not sure if he should stop it because they need to feed people. They gotta get food somehow.
He gets cranking again. Get a third shot off. Loads it back up. Anything?
No, you just lose interest in the dolphin and pay more attention to the ballista. Watch how it works.
Either it doesn't work very well or the first mate is not that great of a shot because the third shot misses as well. By then they dove under the water and don't resurface. As the sky continues to lighten, the sea begins to change. And by the time dawn comes around, it's changed quite a bit. Water has turned murky. It slashes in high white caps, as high as the deck in some places. Somerset pitches with the sea, rocking. The rocking is growing. Along the horizon, in the distance, dark clouds are gathering like a line of orcish shoulders. Within that cloud, there's lightning flashes radically. It is a massive storm that you can see on the horizon bearing down on the ship. Just as the rest of the party is beginning to wake up, Captain Stewart is bellowing out orders, tells them to unfurl the sheet and turn it to face the strong wind. Looks like he intends to run before the storm and ride it out. He shouts something about reaching small islands not far away. Eats, Manu, Top, you guys all wake up. The shouting gets you up faster.
Well, I'm seeing we're in the middle of a storm. If that's nature, I'm gonna sit down and pray to my god while I wait and stay out of the way until I get my spells refreshed.
I keep Freya close to me, not much you can do against a storm at the moment. I also start pray because it's that time of day, and if we go down, we go down.
Steward orders you guys out of the way. Mr. Monterey recommends getting to the quarterdeck by the binnacle.
All right. I need a little bit of time to myself, as is normal. I'll take his advice.
Those of you on deck praying, meditating, are doing the best that they can given the conditions. Wind catches in the sails and the masts themselves groan from the strength of the increasing wind. Already it's impossible to be heard above a shout. The sea is rough, and now it's throwing up a fine mist spray all around, reducing visibility. You can see only a few feet at best. Behind is the leading front of the storm, illuminated by bright flashes of lightning. It looks like a solid wall of water, steadily approaching, bearing down on the ship. It gets to where it's right there. You feel a few drops, hangs in the air for a moment, and it falls upon you, drenching everyone with a torrent of water. Those of you praying, meditating, or trying your best to concentrate is just getting dumped on now. There's a lot of chaos on the deck. Captain's shouting out orders in all directions. There's a growing sense of desperation among the crew as the storm picks up and the ship rocks terribly. Manu, Nat, Aster, you're not really able to concentrate in his conditions. Even in the binnacle, it's pretty rocky. Hard to keep your mind focused. It's rocking so hard, in fact, that a crewman falls off of the rigging up on one of the masts. Plunges into the sea so fast that it's gone in a second under the water. The ship's moving fast. It would make rescue impossible. Stop the ship. Leopard's cage is getting tossed back and forth, banging up against its moorings, back against the side. Shouts come from below in the hold that there's flooding. Captain orders Matt and Fen to the pumps.
I'll go to the pumps and I'll start pumping.
Where
So
are the
just-
pumps? Outside or?
On the outside, yeah, on the deck, just behind the second mast, there's a pair of pumps that go down into the hold below, into the bilge. You let up on those pumps for a second and I'll feast on your intestines. You understand me, lads? Keep pumping.
Show me the way to go home. Everybody, I'm pumping as I'm doing it. I'm just pumping and singing.
The crew does not share your mirth at this time. They're increasingly desperate to do their tasks against the rocking boat and violently swaying ship. As you chop along over the waves, through the rain, for a half an instant, there's a break. You see a second ship, large privateer, also rigged out to run with the storm, same as the Somerset. But on this ship, the sails are in tatters. You hear this inhuman bellow from somewhere within the ship itself. It seems to veer towards you as you're watching. It looks like it's going to ram into your ship when suddenly it veers off and then begins to fade into a cloud of rain, as if it's being washed away by the rain itself. You catch a glimpse of the name of the ship on the bow, which veers off. It's called the Relevance. It plunges into the cloud of rain and disappears. Meanwhile, the storm continues to pick up. Ball lightning dances around the mast, blasts a hole, tears the sails, begins to spread under the wind, tattering further. Huge waves break over the side of the Somerset. Make reflex saves. Now you get blasted by a wave that comes crashing over the ship, and you get slammed into the side railing. Just barely grab on. Make a strength check. Yeah, make a reflex save, run to grab him. Make a strength check. You do grab onto his hands, but the force of the water does tear him right out of your hands. He slips overboard. You guys saw this wave come crashing through, blasted into Nat, where he was standing. He clung to the side of the ship for as long as he could, but then he was gone. What are the rest of you doing?
Clipping my brand new silk rope, and I'm gonna try to throw it to him if I see him.
Ends by the pump, Aster in the doorway of the binnacle, and Freya next to him. Manuel is going over to throw the rope. Make a spot check and a range attack.
I keep an eye on throwing the rope in case it works. I run out as well.
So you don't see him out there. You can throw the rope out into the water, but in froth, it's not turned up.
Alright, well, I'm just gonna hurl the rope out there anyway.
The firebox bounces loose and holes spill free onto the deck. The ship continues to rock. The foremast snaps about 2/3 of the way down, crashing into the front of the ship. It smashes around where the cage, the leopard's cage, breaks free. You see the beast is out. It's hunkering down, it's all wet, scrambling towards the front hatch of the hold.
Order Freya aside a little bit, make some room so it can shoot in.
Another wave crashes against the side of the deck. Make another round of checks. Everybody except for Aster. In the doorway.
That's our sea leg.
Another wave does crash, taking Manuel overboard. You can roll a strength check to hang on, but you weren't able to dodge the wave.
To grab Manuel.
You're right there. Make a strength check to hold on.
Nice.
He's hanging off the side of the deck. You're holding on to him with one arm. Ben, Aster.
Pumping.
I tell my wolf to stay put, Freya, and I help pull Manuel on board.
You guys get Manu back up over the railing and onto the deck just in time to see massive tentacles reaching up out of the water. Several of them. There's a large squid-like creature attacking the ship, slamming its large tentacles onto the deck, grabbing at crew members. You see a couple of crew members get taken off of the ship by these arms. Finn, Aster.
I wonder if Dave's animal would work.
No, he's trying.
I'll give it a shot.
Start with the concentration check. Okay, little pass. Roll caster level check.
I rolled a 3.
That did not work. This spell has failed. Niso, with Aster's help, just pulled Manu over onto the deck.
Make sure he's okay.
He is okay. He's soaked, a little in shock, but he's ready to react.
Make sure he's holding on to something. And then where is he?
Up on the quarterdeck.
Okay. I will make my way over there then.
Anissa, as you're running towards the back and up the ladder, one of the tentacles slams into you and starts slapping around and trying to grab on. You take 3 points of damage from the slap. A grapple check. You try to throw the tentacle off, but it's wound its way around your leg. You get just to the top of the ladder, and it's got you held up and starting to pull at you. It's got you by one leg, and it's lifting. It's very strong. You yank your axe out and chop at the tentacle. Direct hit, slice halfway through one of the arms. Other arms are snatching the sailors up off of the deck, grabbing at the rails, pulling apart parts of the ship.
Bum.
Matt does eventually come up. He's swimming against the current, although he's getting battered. He'll come up and then a wave will come down on him and he'll disappear. So you caught a glimpse of him out there, but you don't have like steady eyes on him.
Try to get the rope to him. That's all I can do.
I cast light on the mast so that it illuminates the entire deck.
Concentration check to deal with the violent rocking. Okay, you're able to cast. Okay, the mast is illuminated. Nat, so you're swimming pretty well, but getting battered. It's impossible to stay above the water with the waves crashing down on you.
Show me the way to go. And I come back and say, you stop that! I'm tired, I want.
And Nisa, you feel this thing twist its way around your leg. It starts to tighten. You feel the pressure squeezing the blood out of your leg. And you feel the joints pop under the pressure. The bone feels like it's about to snap. And you take 2 points of damage. It lifts you up off of the ground and dangles you above the deck, as it does with some of the other crewmen in other places. So you get lapped for 3 points. Make a grapple check. You try to throw it off, but it's sticky, it's winding its way around you, getting a better and better grip on you by the moment. Then you're also being pulled up off of the deck, pulled away from the pumps. Niso, dangling from the tentacle. Take a swipe at it. You can't really get the good hit. Manu, what are you doing?
How close are the people that are grappled by the tentacles?
Fen is on the port side. He's about 15 feet from you. And Nisu is towards the stern on the starboard side, same as you, but he's about 9 feet away.
My free action spot for not.
You see the spot where you think he last bobbed up about 50 feet.
Sorry, not. I'm not that good with rope. I'm gonna draw my short sword and slash.
You finish the work that Aniso had started and slicing through that tentacle. Aniso drops to the deck. Another wave crashes over the ship and takes the captain with him over the port side. Tentacles continue to grab at crew members, drag them into the water, drowning them, crushing their bones. One of them's got a fairly good hold on the first mate. Aster,
I don't have a rope, it's too heavy. Who's hanging upside down?
Several of the crew, the first mate is not upside down, but his tentacles really wrapped around him, around his neck. He's being suffocated. Ben is grappled, but grabbing him, trying to drag him towards the port side. He's hanging on to the pump handle.
Over and start stabbing the tentacle spear.
Jab the spear into the tentacle. Let's go with Ben. And recoils. One of the crew members fires a direct shot of the four-deck ballista into one of the tentacles. Another tentacle grabs him with his ballista, takes him over to the port side. Ben, you've just got let go, feet back down onto the deck.
Thanks. And then I start pumping again. Just make sure this ship don't sink.
Niso, how about you?
Try to make my way back to the ballista.
You get there in a move, charge up the ladder and up to the quarterdeck. It's a move to get it all loaded.
I like to try to make my way across to spot the captain.
Okay, roll a spot check. It's all froth. You think you see where he went in, but a lot of stuff is being tossed into the water. I'm not entirely sure that it was the captain, not a barrel or something.
Is there anybody else that I can see to save?
First mate and 2 crew members are being held by tentacles. First mate is being crushed. The other crew members are being removed from the ship.
All right, so if I still have movement, I'll go to the nearest one of them and slash at a tentacle.
Roll attack. Hits, roll damage. Nice. You slice through a tentacle. It recoils. Doesn't completely come off, but it definitely felt that. It sinks back down into the water. Several of the tentacles are retreating now, breaking off their attack. They are taking crew members with them as they go, but leaving you guys. Aster, what are you doing?
I look around for a rope, a good length of rope, and then I would like to take it, move to the ballista on the back of the ship to later on tie off the rope to a ballista bolt and hopefully shoot it at north.
You grab a coil off the starboard side and head back to the quarterdeck. Once you get on up the ladder halfway, that Aniso is already cranking at the ballista there, getting it loaded.
I yell at him, tie this to the bolt and shoot it at north, and I throw the rope to him. I haven't missed it long enough.
Suddenly, the entire ship shudders as if struck by a giant, pitching everyone forward. Make dexterity checks. Quarterdeck slides halfway off the ship. The main mast snaps under the force of the blows. There's this bone-rattling sound of stone smashing through wood. It sounds as though the Somerset has run aground. Most of you are able to grab onto things as the impact happens. However, Aniso goes flying over the railing and into the water.
Can I see where Anissa landed? Did he land on the rocks in the water?
You see several jagged rocks sticking up. You don't see him amongst them, so you assume he's in the water.
I need to wait until he pops up until I can toss the rope at him. Keep also an eye out if I see Nod out there somewhere.
Our ship is still on water, right? It's not.
It's stuck on top of a rock.
Riding pretty low, you don't know for sure yet what the rock has done other than ripsaw through the deck.
In that case, pumping. But he's getting a lot slower because he's been pumping non-stop.
Yeah, he's getting a little tired. Fen, Manu, and Aster. Reflexes.
Or reflex boost.
Then another wave coming crashing over, take Manu, and it takes Freya washed over both sides, and as the water's running off of the deck, Manu goes over one and Freya goes over the other.
Alright, fuck it, I jump in after Freya.
He goes charging in to the port side, lunges in after Freya.
Is my pumping helping at this point? Probably not.
You're not sure it's really helping. It seems like the ship has got many problems.
Yeah. Is there any rope around?
Yes.
Ben's gonna tie himself to this courteous structure.
Okay.
To the mast, which I have still the light spell on top of it.
Fen, you ride out the storm. It seems like everybody else has been washed overboard or has jumped overboard. Eventually, the jostling, the rocking, pieces of the yardarm coming off, hitting you, causes you to black out. You do eventually wake up tied to the mast with things being quiet. Everybody who's not Fen, first thing you notice is the sand in your mouth, gritty, salty taste. Spit it out, and with it comes a surprising volume of seawater. You open your salt-caked eyes and see that you're lying face down in white sands. You're on a beach in there. Near the smooth water of the high tide mark, and seaweed curls around your wrists and ankles. Behind you, the surf crashes in a calm, well-behaved pattern of falling waves, followed by the hiss of water surging up almost to your ankles. You look around and you see the bodies of your companions, as well as several of the ship's crew.
I'm going to try and pull the seaweed that's wrapped around my ankles and wrists off, then wash off with the ocean water and get that freaking salt out of my mouth.
After. Freya woke you up, licking your face. She's there. She's well.
That's the most important.
Avisa, you're doing the heal check on yourself or others?
Me, because you specifically said I felt things pop in my leg.
Doesn't seem like anything was broken. You're bruised up, but should heal in time.
Walking amongst the survivors, looking for first our group. Anybody need heals?
And you do detach yourself from the mast and have a look around. There's a lot of wreckage in this bay. It's one lagoon here on the coastline where a lot of the materials have washed ashore. You'll see movement along the beach. People seem to be rousing themselves.
Oh, they're definitively people?
There are, well, yeah, you study it for a while. There are people getting up from the sand. You have to hop some boulders to get in all the way into shore. So it'll take some time. Go slowly, it will be not that much of a challenge.
Yeah, Fen will call out to them, of course.
Okay.
I'll
Good.
begin sitting down and doing my morning ritual of prayer so I can recover my spell.
A good amount of debris, several bodies, some living, several of them are dead. As you glance along the shore, what at first looked like stone pillars, study them for a little while, they do stand out as giant stone men reaching their arms up. You see their arms, their upper torsos, and their shoulders sticking up above the sand. Some places it's in the water, and water looks like it's slowly drowning them. Their faces are twisted in agony. Their muscles are straining as if they're trying to reach for something or trying to keep from drowning. But these things are huge. 50-foot tall stone statues, half buried in the sand. These are along the coastline, so these are more distant from the debris and the bodies. The bodies, you examine these corpses, you find several of them are badly mutilated. Their heads have been what look like twisted off. It's quite a gruesome sight. Make will saves, everybody. While most of you are able to shrug it off, Emmanuel, you're not. Roll a d4. You become physically ill. You're sick to your stomach, nauseated. You're finding you need to take it slowly as the horror of the situation dawns on you. Something ripped the heads from these sailors. Luckily, it looks like everybody in the party is here, Glass badly injured and unconscious for the moment. Unconscious. What do you guys want to do?
Yeah, I looked it over. I think I'm going to keep my spells, so vigor, animal trick, daze animal, and I already used light.
True? Alright.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
go ahead.
I'd be talking to the crew to find out if the captain's still alive, if they have enough people to actually begin the process of repairing the ship.
I point to their giant statues, and I'm like, what about those guys?
Yeah, I've seen that. That's why I'm talking to the crew about, can we fix this ship and get the hell out of here?
Iniso, what are you healing?
A heal check on basically anybody else.
There are 3 sailors who come to who survived, who've been found. There are several bodies. Not everybody's accounted for. The captain has not been accounted for. These ships, Fen can point out where it is out closer to the sea, out on the rocks. It is in bad shape. There's just debris all over the coast that could be used for repairs, but with only 3 sailors left, it'll take some time before those repairs are completed.
Okay, then our situation is pretty simple. We obviously want to start picking up all this driftwood and helping the sailors. And then we want to start exploring the area, bringing back mostly food and water resources so we can survive fixing the ship while we get the hell out of Dodge. Objections?
Is nobody curious about those statues?
That's why I want to get out of here. Those statues just reek of trouble. How far away are those statues?
The closest one is about 200 yards away, and you see them going all the way down the coast.
we'll recommend to the sailors to start finding supplies to set up. Maybe check the surrounding area, food. Some of them should get stuff for like fire,
Shelter.
It's going to take more than a day.
Do we see any animals on the beach?
There are lots of birds. Some of them on the beach, many more in the jungles beyond the beach.
Any crabs?
Sea turtles?
No sea turtles, signs of crabs, but no crabs right away.
I keep an eye out for a nice juicy bird, and if it flies close enough, I'll chuck my spear at it and see if I can slam it out of the sky.
Well,
I'm like this. I'll do this as we walk towards the statue.
the birds don't let you get very close to them. You get over to the first, you can get more of the details as you get up close. It does look twisted in agony, straining against some unknown force. The faintest hint of magic.
There's faint magic on these guys, but I can't really make heads or tails of it. Maybe one of you guys can.
Didn't pick that spell for today.
I'll use my once a day racial ability to detect magic.
Okay, roll the spellcraft check. There is magic, ever so faint. It doesn't really match anything you're familiar with.
Does somebody have a hammer so we can chip on these things and see what's in them?
Glass does back at the beach.
Alright, we'll have to go back there and borrow a hammer.
Is there any writing or anything on these statues?
Make a search check.
Also search the statues.
You were an architect, right? Do you know anything about stonework?
The rock is pretty worn. If there was writing at any time, it's worn off. It's solid. You dig into the sand a little bit and do find that they go down into the sand. So you're not sure how far into the sand. You can't dig deeper than mid-torso.
I walk up to inspect one and actually faceplant into it.
Yeah, your search doesn't turn out. You do notice that it is crawling with these lichens and mosses. Those take your attention. Emmanuel, you recognize that the stone is granite. It could be that these were carved from blocks of stone from further inland. As you look inland, you do see that it is mountainous. But from what you could tell, the stone doesn't match any other stones in the immediate area. Can't really
So the
tell
statues
much
were
about
not carved here.
Or a couple of giants got petrified.
This a curiosity, no, but it does not help us with our current predicament.
Time to head back and help these guys get their stuff and get some food and water together.
Figuring out what kind of animals may be here.
You can hear some of the birds. There's birds inland, and you're familiar with the coastline, so you know there's probably some sea creatures.
Thinking more inland.
It's pretty jungly, so whatever you would expect in a jungle. But beyond that, you're not quite sure.
Now, are we on an island or are we just on the shoreline someplace?
You only see shore. You're not sure if it's an island, but you do see jungle, which is not something that Fen or Emmanuel or Niso have come across in their travels through Mordenshire or Denetlu.
This means we could have been blown off course and we're on some big chunk of land. Let's get back and see if there's anything that we can spot that looks like any form of civilization while at the same time looking for anything edible. I can create some water, I can purify food and
About
drink,
fishing.
but at my level I can't feed all of us yet.
Me and Freya can go hunting.
Yeah, I didn't bring any fishing stuff.
Sure has a spear. Spearfish, right?
Yeah,
I
I
guess
got a long spear, which would probably be good for spearfishing.
Oh, question. When you all were going under,
I don't
did
know.
some chick come and get you?
I do remember a face, something female. It was coming near, but then it all went black.
I never went under. Just my luck.
I thought it was lack of hair, but there was a female face, I think.
May have a sea nymph helping us out. Right now, let's go get some food.
There's two ways to go. I can go into the jungle, see if I can get, like, I don't know, some pigs or something, or I can spearfish.
If we go into the jungle, we can at least have an idea of what's in our immediate area instead of just having this jungle and no idea what's in there.
We might find some fruit or something too.
I prefer going into the jungle myself.
Me and Freya take the lead, so Freya can sniff prey out, and I can take her cues. You guys can forage after us on the trail. Not too far.
Okay. There's a tree line of palms and gum trees, tropical birds flitting about in the brush. The air is alive with their calls.
Anything easy? Chicken, iguana?
No chickens. Everyone make a survival check.
Damn, we're rocking those right now.
Dude, you guys are all doing better than me.
I grew up in this city. I know nothing about nature.
Hey, Manuel, no, that's not something to eat.
This is Fenn's first time ever scourging food. He's a city boy.
Aniso quickly points out some edible fungi growing around the base of one of the trees, as well as some lichens that can be eaten. Not also identify some food. Foraging a little bit, you're not getting tons. Just pickings here at the edge of the beach. The jungle gets thick quickly and slows your movement through it.
I think Fenn, after finding some food, will instead dedicate his time to picking up sticks.
Okay.
Even telling grand tales to keep spirits up through the mundane work.
We don't need tales, we need eyes open, ears open, and not alerting things that we're here. We want to find stuff, not have it find us.
Freya pauses, puts her nose to the ground, and starts sniffing before she starts moving forward again. She pauses again and looks, tilts her head to the side and listens. Then she darts forward about 30 feet before pausing and looking back to Aster.
Guys, she's smelling something. Let's go. And I
Either
run
way.
after her.
I trail after Aster.
Once Aster starts moving forward, Freya continues her chase. She's rushing something out of the brush. You get a glimpse of what looks like a small pig that she's chasing. She's getting far away from the group, though.
Can I yell a command for her to chase it on the left side so that the pig starts turning right towards the group again?
All right, make a handle animal check. The wolf is charging after the pig. Aster is hurrying after it. I don't know about the rest of you.
Trying to keep up.
Staying with the group.
Yep, staying with the group.
Aster, you do follow the wolf as long as you can. However, she does get away from you. When you stop running, you notice that you are amidst what looks like an abandoned village. There's 10, 15 buildings. They look like they have stone foundations, but the upper parts of the structure are all rotted.
In that case, I cup my hands and as loud as I can, I yell my wolf to come back to me. The sounds should travel.
Okay, many of these buildings are quite old. From what Manuel could tell from the construction, the foundation, and the materials, it seems like they're more for upland, cold weather climates, more so than the tropical climate that you're in. Looks like they had slated roofs that have since fallen in. All the wood is worm-ridden and fragmented. The stones themselves are starting to chip away from the vines. You do get Freya to come back after you call for her. She reemerges.
Freya has come back.
She's a good girl.
But now that she's made it back, it's time to do a quick check of this area.
Any large buildings that stand out?
None really stand out as different.
Finn's still picking up sticks, and he'll probably do that until he has either a full backpack or at the end of the day.
Just a few pieces of equipment have been tossed in the grounds around, but they're completely rotted over and they break as you pick them up. A couple of books have been tossed out, but they now have the consistency of soggy mush. Pick them up, they crumble.
The roof's collapsed?
Yep, slate roofs have collapsed. Nat, you find a rotted painting. In Niso, you find a silver dagger.
Sweet.
Looks a bit tarnished, but in decent condition. Manuel, you find a pouch of 10 gold. They look like foreign coins, though. It's got the words Nova Vasa written across them. And Aster, you find a child's doll with the torso mostly intact, though a little torn, and the arms torn off.
This is creepy. I call over Nod to ask if he can check out if this is cursed.
Trying to use up all of my detect magic. I only have one.
I don't see any functional use in it all, with missing arms, which is pretty creepy. And
One old place. The painting, is it something I can actually see anything on, or is it just gone?
It looks like a landscape painting of mountainsides and a mountain village, although part of the painting is destroyed, so you really can't make out most of it.
toss me one of those sticks. I needed to poke at this cursed-looking doll.
What's
I
the
have
doll look like
stealing.
again?
It's armless, and it looks pretty creepy.
I'm trying to figure out where we're at based on
Wait,
possibly
I have an
the
idea.
doll.
what does the doll?
type
Yeah,
of
what does the
building.
doll look like? Like blonde hair, brown hair?
The doll is pretty worn. It looks like it had brown hair, although it's very, very dirty now. Might just have turned brown. It's got fragments of clothes. It doesn't look like a West Coast type of culture. Doesn't look like a Daemon or even a Morden or Lemordian doll.
I like pick it up with the pointy end of the stick so I don't have to actually touch the doll. I bring it over to the rest of the group so the rest can look.
It seems like it came from some of the older central territories beyond Borca, Barovian area.
A good map that we see.
So going off the map, Nisu and Manu probably know that Balakan is the nearest place for jungles. But what Manu was seeing was culturally further towards the central core.
Got to approximately here and got blown off course, which means that we can easily be right over here on this big fricker right here.
Yeah, but he said that as far as me and Manuel know, the jungle is down here. So we either got blown way off course.
There's no way we could have traveled that far. That's like 3 or 4 days away. We were 2 days just to this. We were here.
Yeah, I don't think we could be there. But
Yeah, but did we know that there was no magic involved? That you didn't get teleported
That's
anywhere?
true. We could have been teleported.
Oh yeah, in that case, let's just go back.
Take a different path back.
Get lost in the forest. We'll look at setting up some traps and everything tomorrow. Some fish traps, some small game traps, some bird traps.
We do have field rats, even if they are salty to get us through today.
Yeah, and that way if we set up traps, that those can catch animals for us while we're off doing other stuff like gathering firewood, fixing the ship.
You guys get through most of this day. The sun starts getting lower in the sky. You do find some more food to eat, but water is running low. Aniso, Fen, and Manu are out. Aster, Nat, down to 1 in each.
okay.
If you have 4 empty water skins, bring them over and I'll fill them up. 2 gallons, that means I can fill 4 water skins. So.
Oh yeah, that's good. I can also take that spell in the morning.
Yes, you can. We're gonna
Especially since I got my slot currently occupied by light. And tomorrow we can go out and see if we can hunt the pigs again. We can try to use Freya to drive them towards us.
Before we go to sleep, Fen will sing a healing hymn. The doubles healing.
Also, shouldn't we set up guard shifts again?
And sleep out under the stars?
I think that
If the weather's looking good, we can sleep out under the stars. Unless you guys want to go all the way back to that wrecked ship and camp out inside of that.
How far out is that?
150 feet out. Several boulders, several leaps to get there is what Ben had to take from rock to rock.
Is it like in deep water or is it just stuck in some shallow water running around?
It's deep.
Okay, yeah, then we don't want to go out to that ship. Not right now. Then our best bet is probably the actually pitch camp. Just sleep here on the frickin' beach.
It's just right up on the tree line, so that the water won't reach us at night.
Fen brought a whole lot of fire.
All right, and Aster can get that going for you. Fen, you do recognize the stars. It seems like you're looking at them from way up in the north.
Like even further north than where I was.
Further north than Morden. Your time in Darkon is a little hazy. Most of your memories are coming from your more recent time in Morden.
Yeah.
It seems further north than Morden. You settled in and studied the stars a little bit more once you were there at the Mordenshire Academy.
Judging by the stars, but then again, jungle up north, strange place for you got stranded on, that's for sure.
That, and since I'm from Lamordia, are there jungles in Lamordia?
There are not.
Oh,
There are no
Mental
jungles.
Palace. No jungle. Okay. No jungles in Lamordia that I can remember.
It's temperate,
Or no,
cold.
It could be in the ocean.
I think we could be in maybe one of the
We could be
islands.
on an island. Yeah.
Who says we are still in the same reality? We might be just like the Baron on a different...
Yeah.
No.